Hi, everybody. I'm Deacon
And
Dave.
layperson Lisa.
Welcome to the Deacon Dave and Layperson Lisa show as we continue our podcast on
Saints and Shrines of Northern Italy.
And we are going to the town of
Shia,
which is where which saint is at?
Saint Josephine Bikhita.
And where is she originally from, Lisa?
Africa.
Where in Africa, Lisa?
You read the book, I don't know.
Sudan.
I did know that.
She is from the Sudan. You did know this. Very disappointed that you did not get that correct.
I didn't do any research. This is your saint.
That's okay. This is my saint. Well, I do have a great affection for Saint Josephine Bikhita from the Sudan at a very young age. I think she was age 3. She was kidnapped from where she lived and kind of got into what was considered slave trading. And she was physically abused, not sexually abused, but physically abused. And so she has many scars that she had on her body. Eventually, she ended up serving as sort of like a nanny for an Italian consulate that was in the Sudan.
Okay.
And after they were done, they actually took her back to Italy. And she was there. She was taking care of the children. And then they were returning back. And they said she had to go with them.
Okay.
And she said no. And she actually went to court and fought for her freedom.
Okay.
And so she was able to stay in Italy, eventually becoming a sister. And I can't remember what the order is that she's in, or that she was in. But she was one of the only black sisters in her order. And so whenever she went somewhere, she would get quite the attention. But she was a very loving, caring, and I think one of the things that really stands out about her is her humility, Lisa. She had tremendous humility, really didn't want to kind of talk about her childhood and being kidnapped. But she would share with people how she knew that God was with her and that God was guiding her during that time. And she even went so far as to thank, if she could see her captors, that she would thank them, because without them, she would not have ultimately found Jesus.
Wow.
And how many of us can do that?
Right.
Not very many. So how does this speak to your life? How does this saint speak to your life based on what I just said, Lisa?
Well, I think like she had a lot of scars, like you mentioned. And I think our wounds can cause us scars, but we can like take her inspiration and thank God for those wounds and scars, because they created us they molded us to be who we are, and we can use those scars and wounds to help glorify God by sharing our brokenness, our vulnerability, our struggles, and how God is working inside of them, and that can help glorify Him.
Yeah, I like that idea of the spiritual scars that we have, right? And the wounds that we have from this life and from this world, and from other people abusing their freedom. Of course, like St. Josephine Bikhita, the abuse that she endured physically and emotionally was quite to the extreme.
Yes.
And so I would encourage you to read her story, to read up on everything that she went through, but also the fact that she really fought for her freedom. She fought for what was right. And so that was what allowed her to be able to stay in Italy. And so what is it that you need to fight for right now in your life, where you kind of maybe just laying down or giving up, or just saying this is the way it has to be? And God really does want you to fight. He wants you to persevere, and to really pursue whatever it is. And of course, that in and of itself takes discernment, right?
Yes.
To determine that. But she was very, very staunch in her belief that she should be free and be able to stay in Italy. So that's what she did.
Yeah.
But also very forgiving. And very thankful for the struggles and the difficulties of life, right? The same way we are thankful for God's own suffering,
Mm-hmm.
right? So that we might be redeemed and we might have salvation and access to heaven and the Father for all of eternity.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Lise?
Yeah, I think a lot of times, especially when we're struggling with something, we don't see God in that moment, but often when we look back, we do see that He was working and that He was present, but we just were not aware, or we were spiritually blind and did not see it.
All right. So when we're there, we'll be able to visit where she slept.
We're gonna have mass at her crypt.
Yeah, and so that's going to be pretty powerful. She is someone that I ask for her intercession quite often, and am quite remembering just when you kind of look at her life and how she persevered, and then I look at my own life and how I let things. Saints can bring perspective, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which not trying to compare, but just realizing how far I have to go in terms of growing in virtue, right? Especially perseverance and endurance through times of difficulty, and or things as we talked about in spiritual warfare, where we are creating a narrative in our head that doesn't even exist. So we are persevering through something that we created ourselves that's not actually there, which is probably not the most healthiest thing to do.
Right.
Are you creating any narratives in your head that are causing you great difficulty? And if you are, spend time with God so that He can bring clarity to that situation, and you can continue to move forward. What do you think, Elise?
Yes.
Anything
Good
else?
advice.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something. I'm Deacon Dave.
I'm layperson Lisa.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.